This is the 3-step formula I use to get 100% of my detailing customers to leave me a review every single time. What's going on, guys? Luke here with Wilson Auto Detailing and Autodetailer.com. If you are starting or growing your business, you're under 100,000 in revenue, getting reviews is probably, actually not probably, it is the most important thing you could do, because reviews will always and forever, no matter what changes in the search engines, no matter what changes with AI, reviews are going to be one of those things that does not change, in the sense that other people will always want to know what other customers say about you, and therefore platforms like Google are always going to leverage reviews as one of the most powerful things to basically categorize your organic authority to give you customers for free. But what is the problem? Well, I deal with a lot of detailers between $40,000 and $90,000 in revenue in our Autodetailer.com Accelerator membership, and one of the biggest problems they have is the fact that their reviews slip through the cracks. They're like, Luke, I understand how important they are, but when I ask, people don't leave the review. Here's how you solve it. Step number 1, when you are on the phone with a customer and you're assuming that the customer has already booked and they're basically getting on the schedule, here's what the conversation at the tail end of the phone call sounds like. Hey, Jenny, glad I just got you on the schedule for May 9th at 9 a.m. Really quickly before we go, I want to be fully transparent. One of our initiatives this summer is that we're building our online presence on Google, which is actually how you found me. And so I'm asking all of our customers up front, would you be willing, assuming you love the service you got, to leave us a quick review on our Google Business profile afterwards? I'll send you the link when the detail is done. It's ultra simple, but it really helps contribute to our ongoing success. Is that something you're okay with? And immediately Jenny is going to say, Luke, no problem. Thanks so much for letting me know. Love that you're doing that. I would love to leave a review. The reason why step number 1 is actually asking for the review on the front end is because I can promise you it is the number 1 differentiator between detailers who have reviews fall through the crack and detailers who have reviews come and stick every single time. The reason is, if you hit that customer with a review ask for the first time, when you're there or after the detail is done, that is how it slips through the crack. They didn't get a verbal commitment on the front end. You didn't tell them why you wanted it, and therefore you're bringing it up for the first time when you're there or done with it. And that is a huge crack for the review to fall through. So no matter how much automation you put behind this, when you're trying to follow up with your CRM and you have 3 different email drip campaign sequences and an SMS campaign that all ask for a review, it's gonna slip through the cracks because the first time the customer is hearing about it is on the back end of the detail. Now let me explain why this is, because I've split tested this in my own business and across literally hundreds of other detailing businesses at this point. A couple things to note about what I told you in that phone call conversation. The first thing is this: when you are asking for a review, you do it after the detail is booked, and it's at the very end of the phone call, and the segue is nothing more than, hey Jenny, thanks so much, got you on the schedule. Before we go, I just want to be totally transparent. We're building up our reviews as an initiative going into the summer. Just like you found me through my Google Business profile, I want other people to be able to find me through my Google Business profile. That's what the lead in actually sounds like. Now, I know this sounds silly, but the reason why you actually want to attach what you're asking for to some sort of seasonal thing or some sort of initiative is because it actually helps segue into the ask rather than something like this. Hey Jenny, got you on the schedule for May 9th, 9 a.m. By the way, if you like our service, will you leave us a review afterward? Crickets. It's actually very awkward. It makes people feel weird. So the first thing is that transition and the segue. We attach the ask to some sort of initiative as we're going into the summer. We're trying to boost our rankings, okay? The second thing is what I call the why part of this, which is anytime you ask, even for a review, people intuitively know why you're asking for a review, but you have to explicitly state it. Sounds like this. Jenny, we're building up our online presence through our Google Business profile. We want to be found more and more in the community over time. Reviews are the number 1 contributing factor that allow us to do it. It's why we're prioritizing them so much right now. 2 things. Number 1, your brain is designed to hang on the why of why something is done. Even if it's not a good reason, giving a reason is enough to spur action and to get somebody to agree to something. The second thing is it actually allows you to emphasize how important it is. And the reason that's important is because when Jenny gives me her verbal commitment that she's going to leave a review, I want her verbal commitment to be attached to an ask that has some weight to it. Rather than saying, hey Jenny, will you leave me a review? And she's like, yeah, no problem. I want it to be a bit of a conversation on the front end because there's something called a commitment bias. When people say they're going to do something, there's some sort of mental bias that really makes them want to fulfill on that promise, even if it's something that's not good, which of course in this case it is, but we can actually use that and have it kind of working for us in our favor. So this is an area of most people's detailing businesses where they think, oh, if I want to succeed more, I just have to automate more things. And I can promise you that is not true. Ask for the review on the front end, explain why you're doing it, attach it to some sort of seasonal or some sort of initiative that sounds sounds temporary, but that you're trying to boost them up for a time, and give them the importance of why and add some weight to it and wait for them to actually verbally commit. You want them to say on the front end of the phone, hey Luke, yes, I will do that, no problem. Now, what is the second step of getting the review? Well, obviously, when I get to the detail and I actually perform the detail, what I want to do is be sure that I am taking some sort of content from that detail that I can then offer to the customer to leave in the review. For example, let's say I'm doing a trashed exterior white car. I'm going to take a little before picture. I'm going to take a little after picture. When I'm done with that detail, I'm going to offer Jenny in person as I'm texting her the review link. Hey, Jenny, I'm texting you the review link that I mentioned on our phone call before. And by the way, I'm also going to link up a couple before and after pictures that I took so that you can have them. And if you're so inclined, you can leave them in the review, because I think pictures speak louder than words. And it's kind of nice to see how far your vehicle has come. Thanks so much. Now, take note of what just happened. After that detail got done, I brought up in real time across from the customer face to face that I'm asking for a review. I sent them the review link. I gave them content to include, and yet none of that sounded like an ask where I was just directly asking for a review. So I'll repeat it one more time. It sounds like this. Hey, Jenny, I'm going to shoot you over that Google review link that we talked about on the phone. I also took some before and after pictures because it's nice to see kind of how far your car has come. And if you're so inclined, you can leave those in the review because, of course, in any review like this, pictures speak louder than words, can help other people kind of see what's possible for their car. Thanks so much again. What I'm doing is housing that second review ask in a framework that doesn't actually sound like an ask. All the while, I'm further getting that commitment bias from her because I'm actually asking without asking. I'm asking assuming that she's going to do it because she already gave me her commitment way back here on the phone call. So in sales, they call it an assumption close. But again, you're just assuming they're going to fulfill on what they said they're going to do, and you're giving them ammunition that sort of further deepens that commitment to do it because you're giving them pictures now. And so now it's like, oh, okay, now I actually have these in my phone. I need to go include these in the review, and I'm sending the review link in person. That's the second thing that must happen. Add the content, send it in a text in addition to the review link, do it in person while you're standing in front of that customer. Now, I also need to say that truly, when you have content inside of a review, it actually does make that review that much better. And this is from a search engine optimization perspective, as well as from just a customer perspective. What would you rather see, right? If you're scrolling through Amazon reviews, you want to see people who are taking videos using the actual product so you can see what it's like rather than just a text review. So again, you're actually getting that second ask and that second reminder for the review, and you're adding juice to the review at the same time. Okay, you can see why this optimizes the review framework here. Now, what's the third thing that needs to happen? At this point, most of the time, by the way, you won't need to have any sort of follow-up because your follow-up sequences are rendered irrelevant because you've done it all the work on the front end, right? So you've probably already gotten the review at this point. Most of the time, the review happens when you send that short link over when you're in person. So a lot of times it's done, but let's just say that it isn't. It's still slipped through the crack. They forgot. I call this the same day to like 12 or 24 hour follow-up, okay? Here's the deal. Depending on when you actually perform this detail, let's pretend like it's at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and I'm done in the morning. All of that happens. I go the rest of the day and the review still hasn't come in. Time to contact a lead or the time frame within which you contact them about the review actually matters in that final follow-up sequence here. So assuming I finish at like 10 a.m. and let's call it 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. later that day, the review is still not in, I'm going to send a follow-up text message and it sounds like this. Number one, I'm going to link up my short link for the review and I'm going to say, hey, Jenny, not sure if my first text message went through. Here's that short link to leave the review on Google. Let me know if you have any technical issues. That is what my final and third follow-up actually sounds like. It's not a direct ask for the review. It's at most a reminder without saying it's a reminder, and it's actually taking the burden off of asking and saying, hey, wasn't sure if you got the link before, wanted to follow up, make sure you have it. If you have any problems leaving the review, let me know. It's actually a different form of assuming that the review is going to be left, but it serves as a reminder without the burden of the direct ask. That is why detailers most of the time don't follow up, because they feel like they're being a burden and they're being annoying. This is how you step out of the I'm being annoying, asking directly framework, and you step into a framework that takes the burden off of you and it actually puts it back onto the customer. Because when you say, let me know if you have any technical issues, that person has already given you a verbal commitment that they were going to do it. And so there is a little bit of guilt that actually does work in your favor here, because what happens and what customers will actually tell you is, oh my gosh, Luke, I'm so sorry. Yes, I forgot. I'll do it right this second. They actually do feel a little guilty because they did make a promise and they're reminded that they're kind of breaking it. Now, again, I'm not trying to get all deep into a bunch of psychological hacks, but the point is, this is actually just a very honest way to frame things in order to get them to fulfill the commitment that they made prior on the phone call. The reason why same-day follow-ups, by the way, are so much more effective is because the time delay actually does have a lot to do with whether or not the review is going to be left if you have to follow up that third time. However, if this is a last-minute detail, maybe you're done by 5 or 6 p.m. and they still haven't left it that day, I'm going to follow up the next morning, probably before noon. So I call it the same day or the 12 to 24 follow-up because it needs to be within 24 hours, ideally within 12 hours, ideally the same day, again, if the time permits and the schedule permits, and then that's how you make sure reviews don't fall through the cracks. Now, I just want to close by saying this. As you scale up your business, this is definitely an area where you can begin to automate the follow-ups and automate the asks. But what cannot be automated is that front-end phone call conversation where with every single person you say, hey, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. And I cannot tell you how many detailers underestimate the volume of reviews they need to succeed every single day. I deal with detailers inside of our accelerator membership at autodetailer.com who are between $40,000 and $90,000 in revenue. And they've got about 50 Google Business Profile reviews or 60 Google Business Profile reviews. And I ask them the same question, hey, when did you get these reviews or when did most of them come in? And they're like, year 2 of my detailing business. And I'm like, oh, when did you experience the most growth? And they were like year 2 of my detailing business. And I'm like, oh, okay. And are you prioritizing these reviews anymore? And they're like, no, I don't really do it anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. And has your business stagnated? And they're like, oh yeah, it's stagnated. But I mean, I'm paying this company a bunch of stuff to work on my website, to get my search engine optimization pulled up, and I think it's going to work. I'm paying like $1,000 a month and they tell me I need 6 months to really start to blah, 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 blah. And you can see the problem with this, right? We underestimate the amount of volume necessary to create long-term success. And I can promise you the volume necessary for your reviews is something you're underestimating. Use the strategy in this video that I just gave you to your advantage, even if you are past $100,000 in revenue, because in our 6-figure certified network at autodetailer.com of guys who are all past 6 figures and many of them into 7 figures, you're talking about 300, 500, 700 total reviews. And that review count is an exact proportion with them being far beyond 6 figures across the board 100% of the time. Guys, hope this helps. If you got value here, make sure to check out the video on screen where I'm talking about 3 sales closes on the phone that will help you overcome any price objection from customers who are saying, hey, you're too expensive, this other guy is cheaper, I don't want to pay your prices. And as always from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing and autodetailer.com, remember, a great detailer is always learning, and I'll see you in the next video.